ago when we were first entering into the state legislation, and I remember we were asked, the chamber politely asked us to speak, and they said 7 minutes. I remember thinking, oh my God, what am I going to say for 7 minutes? Now a year later, it's, oh my gosh, I only have 7 minutes, so I'm going to try to get out as much as I can. Pat McGuire is always a hard act to follow because he gives such accurate and specific information. I'm going to try to generalize some of the things that I am working on and that I am anticipating we're going to see happening with the state. As Jeff just mentioned, I am an educator, so that is my passion. That is my first and foremost, the things that I focus on, and we talk about resources, and as I mentioned at another meeting last week, I feel my role is to protect the most important resource, which is our children. So a lot of the legislation I work on does deal directly with the education. And with that said, you will see today, later this afternoon, Senator Andy Menard, who's been working on the education funding committee to relook at how we fund education. He'll be here this afternoon and talking to some of our administration. We know how, we know education affects us directly, whether we have children in school or not. Not only for how it affects our community, but how it affects our pocketbook. So we're excited to have Senator Menard here to talk about his proposal. And I'm pretty confident when Senator Menard puts his mind on something, something gets done. And there is rumor that he's going to have a proposal ready to go by March. In addition, I've had a superintendent's roundtable working with our superintendents just to work, not things that we're going to see in the classroom. For people, I see some of our school board members, we know that what we do daily in school is pretty much, we say there's no vacancy. You know, we have a lot to do already. So what I have been working with the superintendents is looking at all our mandates, taking out some of the language that in 2014 is no longer relevant. We're trying to broaden some language so school districts have a little more flexibility in how to spend their money. And I'm very excited. We have bills drafted and ready to go, and I'm very excited to fight that cause for our education system. Locally, also, two big issues, education. Second to me is small businesses. Raised by a father who owned a service station, 2 employees. Small business is critical and crucial. So again, I set up a round table this summer. I've had 2 by federal government by 27 weeks or more. The Senate Bill 2698, proud to have that as a personal initiative and will be heard next week. I'm trying to think of what else real quick. Minimum wage, you know, we talked about the progressive tax, minimum wage. We are going to see it. Again, another concern of small businesses. The last I have seen of that bill is it's in increments, starting I believe in mid to or late 2014 to increase all the way. Once again, kind of the same rules apply that it has. It's for 18 or older. So our younger kids, our high school kids, this is not impacting. But once again, it's a huge push of the governors. It's a huge push of Senator Lightford, who is sponsoring this. And I understand. I was with the Park District just 3 or 4 days ago, and I understand the impact or the concern that people have. However, again, we have to remember minimum wage was established so people could have a decent living. so they can survive. And if you add those numbers up still, and you hear that total amount, I think some of us in this room would look and say, how do they do it? And so, with any type of legislation, I can speak to this group and you can tell me exactly what you need and why you need it and how this is going to hurt, and tomorrow I could be with a whole nother group that will be countering exactly what you say and how we need this, and how, if we don't do this, it's going to hurt. So these are the important issues, like the progressive income tax, the minimum wage. We do need feedback. We need to hear both sides. We look for compromise. I say this, and I try not to say it tongue-in-cheek, but it comes out tongue-in-cheek sometimes, that, legislation is trying to help the most people while hurting the least. And the reality is, people are going to feel the effect of this, whether good or bad. And our jobs, Larry, Manley, Pat, and I, is to try to help our community the best way possible. We know the impact it's going to have. We know your arguments. It really becomes a situation where we're trying to really do what's best for our community and the state of Illinois. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the Young Adults Heroin Task Force. Representative Manley and I are on that. You are going to hear this all over this year. I just got invited one by Congressman Hulkin. We've had a couple roundtables. Will County, Larry has been on the forefront of this issue. It's a forefront issue because it is a serious, serious problem. We talked about in Will County alone, just people we've identified, and going down from, we had 56 deaths last year. I'm talking to some communities that have had hundreds of deaths. And the reality is, just an addictive drug, once you do it, you cannot quit. And kids die. And when we had our meeting, we were speaking to one of the doctors, and the doctor says, kids don't get scared, parents get scared. So it's my role to scare the crap out of parents because they cannot beat this. And we were at a forum the other day, we were listening to a young girl speak. She's in drug court. She was telling her story, and I couldn't help but think, I really hope in 5 months, when she's not being supervised by that wonderful program we have through the drug court, that she is able to share her story. So Representative Manley and I, you will be repeatedly hearing us talk about the Heroin Drug Task Force, along with our County Executive, Larry Walsh. Here's just my little friendly reminder. If your small business does not want weapons in, you need to make sure that you have this up at your facility. That's my little friendly reminder to people who do not want weapons in their businesses. With that, I hope I covered most of it, and didn't speak too fast, but thank you very much for having me. We will definitely be around for more questions.